Welcome to the Stampscapes lab. I've been asked if this type of wood grain paper could be used for kind of a winter scene, Christmas scene type of thing. And I don't see why it couldn't. Now, we're going to be faced with a warm foundation here, but there's no reason why we can't have some kind of like snowy type of scenario on here. It just depends on what kind of imagery you're using on here. You know what I mean? I wouldn't stamp something tropical with palm trees or something like that for winter, but let's give the snowy covered bridge a try here. I'm going to try it a couple different ways, and these things come together so fast we'll have plenty of time for this type of quick scene scenario here. All right, so this is going to stamp out, but the wood grained type of patterning is going to show right through things like the rooftop and the road here, but let's see what we can do with it. I might have to do some blocking out depending on how this looks for kind of a better wintry type of end result. Let's see. Okay, now I'm stamping this out with my StazOn ink. I just find the StazOn ink works. It seems to work the best with this type of paper, the coated pre-printed paper. You can try some other types of things, you know, I don't know. I've given a little bit of test, but this is such new paper to me. I can't really tell you, exactly, the best things for it, but I just know that my preliminary testing, as far as my supplies go, I don't know, just StazOn was the answer. Okay, so I've stamped a little bit of the sedge filler and the tiny rock small here to continue this out towards the end. I do have another fence here, or fences that I can use in here. I've never really thought about doing that. Let's see, which one is that? It's the other side, like this. That goes out that way, though. Let's see. I guess I can do it like this. So a bunch of different types of things you can do with the fences here. Here's a larger one where you can go like this. It's a little bit too large. I have every type of configuration of the fencing here. Let's see. It'd be the opposite side. The smaller version of this one here is this one. Okay. I should cover up my StazOn ink. All right, let's see. Let's go with this here, about like so. I might have to do a few extra fence posts on this one, but we shall see. Okay, yeah. I'll do a couple extra little fence posts in here. Let's say I don't have the best. This'll do. I'm just drawing a couple extra fence posts here. I made this, for it to kind of go off in a different direction, but it's the beauty of Stampscapes. You can just kind of, draw things in and, make do with a, smaller range of things because they're more universal than a single type of usage. Okay, here's another fence here, and I'm carrying this out towards the edge. Now, I could have just stamped this lower, if I wanted to. You can do that too. All right, so we have this like so. Now, okay, the snowy portion of this. Okay, so I think this looks pretty cool as is, but let's make it look a little bit more snowy if we can. All right, so this isn't a white colored pencil. I think it's a chalk pencil or something like that. That being said, if this works on this paper, I should probably spray seal it when complete. Let's say I should really have some background in here too. Oh, I don't know. I wasn't really thinking about this whole composition here when I started, but let's go grab a couple other images to add in the surrounding area. Okay, let's go with a couple trees here. What happens is I think about just using like one stamp just to test something out, but then I see the piece kind of developing right before my eyes, and I tend to think, oh, let's just go for it and just make, a really complete scene. So like here, this is the first time I've seen the snowy covered bridge on this wood type of paper, this wood patterned paper, and it's like, oh, that looks really good. So I want to see the scene done, really completely. All right, so leafless limbs, large here. All right, and let's go for a couple smaller ones in the distance. All right, so I'm going to mask off this road right here, and then I'll put them right behind here, okay? Now, I mean, ideally, if this is like, going to be a card or, like a Christmas card or something like that, then you leave room for a sentiment up there, Merry Christmas or whatever, okay? But I'm just going to test this right now. So my idea is to put some snow on these trees, okay, on the branches. We'll see what that looks like. I don't know. And we'll see what we can use to apply that, okay? So, all right, so if this is supposed to represent kind of a wintry scene, what we'll do is we'll add some of this white down here. Now this white on this paper works pretty good. I would imagine like a Prismacolor white should look really good too. I'm thinking of if a Conte crayon would. I'm not sure. But let's add a little bit of highlighting into this. Now this pencil right here, like I said, it's kind of more of a chalky pencil. I don't even know what it is. It says Schwan Stabilo Carb Othello. Something I picked up in college, I don't know, it's probably required of us. We always had this, grocery shopping list for art supplies every semester, and had to go out and buy a bunch of stuff. And as you can see, I didn't use it very much, just like most things. I think colored pencils were on the beginning drawing list or something like that. I'm like using it more these days. Haven't used it very much over the years. All right, going into this road here. I'm not trying to cover it completely. There's some darker kind of textures on the road, like for like wheels or something like that, And I'm leaving those areas a little bit darker, so if it's a little bit darker on the stamp, I'm leaving it a little bit darker, or just untouched with this, like that, so you can still see those kind of little marks like that. Let's get a little bit more in here. Okay. Now, this isn't going to be great for little details, so let's break out a white paint pen. Get it flowing pretty good. Now I'm going to be placing some little like snow. So where these areas of the branch off, I tend to put it in like these little notches. I might put it on some of the branches too, but like right in these notches are where snow tends to collect. And let's see if we can get some in there. Let's see if this pen's working pretty good. Yeah, it seems to be, okay. So we're putting some snow on these trees like this, okay. It's going to be a lot lighter than that kind of chalk pencil. But like I said, if you have a white colored pencil or something like that, that should do it. That's what I would have been using on here had I had one. I seem to have used mine up or something like that. I don't see a like a white Prismacolor in my collection. Okay, now I'm not doing a lot. I'm not doing this on every single branch. That would be a little bit overkill. If we're going to do that, then we might as well have stamped out the tree in white instead. So just, kind of add some here and there. Take a look at it and see how it looks, and then add more if need be. Okay. Okay, so we have something like that. Kind of brings out those trees a little bit more, doesn't it? Let's go across the top of this rooftop here, just to kind of lighten it up a touch. Some people even do like little icicles hanging down. Yeah, I don't know if I can do that a little bit. Yeah, maybe. That's pretty cool. I'm going to do a couple hanging down from the tree, maybe. Some of these branches. I'm trying to keep it pretty subtle, though. All right, maybe let's add a little bit of variation. I think that white looks pretty good. Let's add a little variation. I'm not sure if I can draw with this paint pen over the top of that chalk. Sometimes that chalk goes up into the paint pen, but it's flowing pretty good here, I think. So just kind of on the top kind of edge of some of these little snowy, I don't know what do you call them, bluffs, not bluffs. I don't know what they call them. Okay, so on the tops of some of these like little fence posts here, just kind of brings it out from the background a touch. Okay, and a little bit on tops of the fences. I think that looks pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to try something here now with my splatter painting, just to get a little bit of extra texture in there. Okay, so just a little bit on the tip here, and then I squeeze a lot of it out. Okay, I made this one, I used a lot of water in this one to make it a little bit kind of thinner so that, I don't know, I think I might be able to get a little bit of a better splatter pattern down here. I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, see, that's what I wanted. I wanted these larger kind of dots in addition to some smaller ones, okay? Because I wanted to be this to represent snowfall. And sometimes when it's too fine a pattern, spray pattern, especially on the top of this sheet here, this paper is not dark, it's just a little under medium, if that, okay? So I need this white paint to be a little bit more visible. So I went thinner, and I'm getting a much more variation. There's some like big kind of, blobs in there, okay? And that should do it right there. I do think that paper looks pretty decent in a winter scenario here. I mean, this is just a real quick, kind of approach here. There's other things we can probably do. I don't know if this is going to work at all. I mean, if I did this, I should have done it before I put that kind of chalky surface down. But let's see what this little, these three, they're tiny rocks in white might look like. They show up a little bit, not a whole lot. But like I said, I'm stamping it over that chalky surface, so not a lot of this is transferring. But I think that makes for a decent looking winter, decent looking winter scene. Sorry about that, out of focus there, but I think it looks good on the wood grain paper. Wood grain papers, I don't know if it's a seasonal type of thing. I think it looks. I think it can look good in any season. I just a spring type of piece recently, And I think that looks really good. On this one too, you might be able to bring a little tinge of okay, here. I just thought of something. Let's bring a little tinge of blue in here. Now, it would have been better if I did that before I splatter painted, because I'm going to be, putting this over, a little splatter paint. But we'll bring a little tinge of blue in here into this snow, like a cool temperature. Purple would be okay too. Something a little bit of a cool tone maybe. But yeah, okay, this, just a little tinge of this bluish tone. Maybe makes it look a little bit cooler right there. Can you see that? Let's bring it around in here a touch. I think that looks excellent. It's strange to think that, sometimes you can really kind of layer cool tones over warm tones or warm tones over cool tones occasionally. A glowing kind of slightly warm moon and a nighttime sky, a cool nighttime sky, that type of thing. So a little bit of a temperature change here, but I think that looks pretty good. So like I said, let me go back to what I was mentioning. I think, wood grains, I think they can look good in, almost any type of seasonal scenario that you would have for them. I don't know if every wood, is going to look good. You just have to kind of experiment around with it. You know what I mean? Can you use like a really dark, I don't know, if there was like a walnut type of paper, wood, cardstock. I don't know. Maybe you stamp things in white, as opposed to black on something really dark. I'm not sure, but I'd highly recommend taking a look and seeing what type of papers you might already have even. A lot of us have, I'm finding, some wooden types of, textured, themed, whatever, cardstock in your collection. So I don't know. So far, it seems to be able to do just about everything. And this one right here, I'm talking about from a pattern and temperature standpoint. And it's just a little cheap, copy paper kind of thickness here. It's even thinner than copy paper, I think, from the feel of it. But it is, mine happens to be a disposable kind of like dinner placemat, just printed with a wood grain look to it to have it a little bit, I don't know, whatever, more decorative and classy maybe. But it's a really fun surface to stamp on. Just find really good ink for your impressions, okay? But as far as your media applications, it's doing really well with it. Everything that I've thrown at it so far. So certain things that I didn't think we were going to work on here, I don't know, seem to handle without any problem, or too much problem, even when kind of laying down colored pencil over the top of this kind of chalky type of application of that white tool. All right, so thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Happy experimenting, or encourage you to experiment with your different supplies out there and supply combinations. Hope you have fun. And if you like this video, hope you hit the like button and subscribe.